So you wanna be a picture book writer, then you gotta write picture books. And you're gonna need a bucket load of bright ideas for titles, plots, and hooks. If you're partial to prose or you're raring to rhyme, then repeat after me. It's a challenge, but I'm gonna tackle each story 1 month at a time with 12 by 12.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and joining us for Sammy's special gift reading. So I'll get started. It's illustrated by Hussein Sönmezai and published by Charles Bridge. This is the title page and the first spread. Every year, Sammy and Dede celebrated Eid al-Adha by going to the carnival together. It was Sammy's favorite holiday. But now with Dede gone, Sammy had only a sea of memories to hold on to. He didn't want to celebrate without Dede, not until a surprise package arrived all the way from Istanbul, Turkey. Inside were Eid gifts from Nene, a doll for Sarah, Sammy's little sister, and for Sammy, Dede's favorite Eid tie, the one with the little lambs. Sammy's heart soared to the sky. He would never take off Dede's tie. He wanted to wear it forever and ever. Mine, cried Sarah. No, grumbled Sammy. This is your Eid gift from Nene. Kids, almost time to go to the mosque for Eid prayer, Baba said. Anne took the tags off their new clothes and helped them get ready. Sammy's heart pitter-pattered as he gazed at his tie. He knew Dede would want him to celebrate Eid the same way as always. There's going to be a bounce house and bumper cars at the carnival this year, Sammy's friend Ismail said. Yippee, Sarah clapped. Shh, Baba whispered. The Imam is talking. The Imam told them a story about the importance of charity, gratitude, and sharing, especially during Eid al-Adha. The sweet smell of burek made Sammy's stomach rumble at mouth-water. Yum, he thought. I can't wait to bite into the flaky, buttery pastry. The buffet table was full of his favorites: savory lamb kavurma, sesame seed simit, and honey-soaked baklava. Eid Mubarak! What a nice tie, Sammy's aunt and uncle said. Sammy ran his fingers down his satiny smooth necktie and beamed with pride. He felt just like his Dede. Ready to go? Annette asked. Next stop, carnival, Sarah cheered. Not just yet, said Baba. Baba, why are we here? Sammy asked. Remember what the Imam said? Baba replied. Eid is about charity, gratitude, and sharing? Sammy asked. Yes, we share 1/3 of the meat with friends, 1/3 with family, and 1/3 with the poor, said Baba. I want to go to the carnival, Sarah squirmed in her seat. Let's deliver these goodies first, Anna said. Can I help? Sarah asked. You can both help, Anna replied.
I remember you told me at one point that this book, not that we don't love all of our books, but that this was really a book, the book of your heart. And yet all of your books have, I think, so much heart in them. But it's this, what makes this one extra special to you?
Well, just the fact that the story of Prophet Abraham and in this particular trial he was put under, each time I think about it, it makes me cry because, you know, it's so powerful. And this is my first fiction picture book. The others are nonfiction. And for some reason, fiction was harder to write for me than nonfiction. And I know within our viewers here, there's a mix of fiction and nonfiction writers, and nonfiction is its own beast. You know, it requires different, you know, I guess research skills and lots more back matter. But I guess because it was so challenging to figure out the story, that's why it's special. And oh, I forgot, it's also the first traditionally published picture book about a Turkish family. And
Really?
for this, yeah, about a Turkish family who lives here in America or in the diaspora. And it's special for me because I was born in Turkey, and having grown up here and not having the representation, it feels special to finally have something where we see the Turkish culture, the you know the foods, and in the artwork you'll see some souvenirs which I actually shared with the illustrator. My family and I we go to Turkey every 2 years or so because we have family there, and so for example, this you'll see this in the cover, like the jacket flap of the book, and also on Sammy's in Sammy's bedroom. Yeah, so I took pictures of little souvenirs that my family and I got during our travels. Or for example, this one, this is Cappadocia, and you'll see that in the room also. So like little details where you'll see the Turkish culture, which make it extra special for me. And the word for mom is anne. I've never seen that in a book, like a traditionally published book, as well as dede, which is grandfather. So like just little touches. With this picture book, I feel it has a special place for me because I used it to learn craft, and each time I learned something new throughout the years, I would come back to this manuscript and apply it. And so it it was like a learning like manuscript for me. So
That's
yeah, I had a passion for this story. Like within our religion, we have two major holidays, and we don't have a lot of picture books about this particular holiday, about Eid al-Adha. At the time when I started writing, I think there was one picture book, and it was too wordy for the younger age group. And I was invited by my son's preschool teacher when he was 4 years old to read a story about this holiday. And when I couldn't find anything, I decided, okay, since I promised I'm going to come and read, I wrote a story starring my son as the main character, of course. My son's name is Sammy, so I named the character Sammy, close enough. And at the time, he was 4 years old, and at the time he loved wearing neckties. And so this is where the necktie comes in the story. It's based on my son. And so I wrote the story, and then I put in family pictures, and then I read to the class, and of course embarrassing my son because
Yeah, that only gets worse as they get older. The embarrassment factor.
yeah, because he was the main character in the story. And then yeah, so that's how it started off, because I couldn't find a story. And that's how my writing career actually started, because you know how some writers say, oh, I always wanted to be a writer or an author or an illustrator ever since I was young. But that never crossed my mind. It never occurred to me that I could write. And but when that preschool teacher invited me into her classroom to read, and I couldn't find a story, so I just felt like that, okay, I'm gonna do this because again, you know, I promised to do it. And then the teacher said, well, you know, we don't have books about this particular holiday, and we study different holidays every year. So why don't you get this published? And then I took that to heart, and I started researching, because I didn't know anyone in the publishing field, or I didn't know any other writers. And once I started researching, I realized, oh, you know, well, we don't have this and we don't have that, we don't have the other thing. And there's like a huge gap in the marketplace on Muslim, you know, stories and voices. And even though I grew up in America, I was born in Turkey, but I grew up here, I never felt there was a need, or that there was a place for our stories. And it's interesting because, you know, I'm a grown woman, and I know I know there aren't these stories, but until that teacher invited me into her classroom and said, we need your stories, I didn't feel like I belonged, or that there was space for me and space for my culture and my religion and my stories. And it's interesting, you know, like thinking about it as an adult, like why didn't I feel that there was a need, or that I belonged in this space?
Mhm. Yeah. And also, just another like shout out to teachers in general who, you know, we
Yeah,
need to appreciate more, because normally when you hear stories about a teacher having a major impact on your life, it's from childhood. But here's a teacher who had a major impact on your life when you were an adult.
right.
And those lucky kids, you know, to have a teacher like that.
Yeah,
Do it together, so never you fear. It's a handy little way to help you kick into gear. You're amazing, exciting. Look out, 'cause you're writing 12 by 12.
12 manuscripts.
12 by 12.
12 picture books.
12 by 12